Okay, I'll just record here. So if you look at the code here, right, we stop in the blog, user blog. Oh no, we are adding, right, because I added the user blog also code already. So add blog. Okay, so the error was right here in the catch section. By mistake the console log was added here, right, something like this, console.log. I don't know how that get hit there, and we were logging maybe the data, right, something from here, maybe the from the blog. Okay, but I don't know how that get there. Okay, I have no idea, right? By mistake maybe it get there, and that's why the error was coming. But I just, it took me like 30 minutes to fix this. Something else was error, I don't know. I keep trying and it worked, right? So if you look at here now, same thing. Okay, we have title, description, image, and then we getting the data, right, from the local host, local storage. Okay, and here is a, if there will be error you can catch, right, and console log error, done. Now you have data await response, basically data, right, from here. So you have this response and you can return that data here. Okay, so whatever the response coming back from this API, because in API, remember, we have response dot, and we are sending the JSON file. Okay, that JSON file will get back here, right, and that is what you are returning. So we catch that here, right? So we just console log right now, and then after you add something you move to the blog section. Okay, navigate right to the blog. So let's look at this site, because we wrote whole code up to here, right, last time, I mean earlier, right? And it's just working now. So let's go back and check our code. I can remove this console log. I think we don't need now, because I added when I was testing, right? So let's remove that. So when you submit the button, handle submit, this function will run, right, and the function is coming from here. Okay, so that function will take the API, take the data, and post to our database, right, and it will return the data. That is what it is doing. So let's go online and check now. So we are adding something, right, add blog. Okay, add blog. So we already logged in. I'm logged in with the test 9, right? Then I'm gonna do maybe some title. So let's say what will be the title now, right? Blog about my study. Okay, and add some description, right, some text here. About the subject you learn. Okay, and then we can add one image, right? So I'll just select something from here, whatever is that image, maybe the book, whatever, right? And so let me clean this up and add blog, right? Click on add blog. Okay, so see the blog is added, and we are sent to the blogs page. Okay, we are sent to the blog route now, right? See that blog route, and you're going to see that blog on the bottom here, right? So blog about my study, some text about learn and all that, right? So it's working. Okay, it's working. Now I went and I wrote another code, right? User blog. If somebody is logged in, let's say somebody is logged in already, right, and you want to see all the blogs from that user, so how we can do that? Okay, that is the code, right? So I will explain it now. So let's go to the user blog now. So we have user blog here, right? User blog. So first try to understand here. Okay, remember we have API to get the user, all the blocks from user by ID, right? So that we wrote on the last one. Okay, if you look at here, This is the one, right? Get by user ID. Okay, so if I'm using this API, right, this API, it will take the ID, it will get the ID. Basically, if you look at here, right, you getting the ID, find by ID, you're finding the user by ID, right? And if you don't get, you return error. If not, you just return whatever you get, right? So it just return the user with everything right here. So that is user blog. I mean, this is the user blog, right? It's just returning as an object with property name user. So let's remember, I just changed here, right? I just added the name user to make it easy. Okay, it's just the object. I can return just like this, that is also fine, but I just added here to just remember, right? User. So this route we tested last time and it was working, right? Everything is fine here. Okay, so now let's go to the user blog. So API blog / user, and then you passing the ID, right? Remember the ID. Okay, so once you have this ID, this route will return us, basically give us back the user, right? And that user has what? If I can show you now, right? Let's go back. I think I pulled out here. Yeah, so let's say this user, you are getting this whole thing, right? You are getting this whole thing. That's the user ID, correct? Now that is the blog ID, right? That is the blog ID. That is this is blog. Okay, yeah, this is the blog, right? Because we are getting things from the blog using the user ID. Okay, so if one person, right, if this is the let's say okay, where is that? One second. That's the individual blog, right? This is the blog, and this is the blog. Okay, let me fetch the new data also, right? API blog. So you're gonna get the whole blog here. So that's the blog ID, right? So here, look at here, user ID. This is the user ID. So this person, right, has added many blocks. Maybe look at let's say this is the one, this is one, here is one, right? So same person has inserted 4 different blog, right? 4 or 5, no, 4 blog. Okay, you can see the blog here. So how you gonna populate the user by user ID, right? How you gonna get all this blog out? Okay, how are we gonna get, right? So we have that API that will give us the whole blog, right? This API, okay, this API will give us the whole blog. Okay, you have to test, I mean, basically you have to write the code and test, right, and see how you're getting that. Okay, so once we run this API, you're gonna get the whole blog. It will return back, right? So if you look at the controller, blog controller, right, you're gonna get like user, basically user equal to user blog, right? I mean, you're gonna get this property user. Okay, and there will be the object. This user blog is an object, right? And from that object you're gonna receive the blog. Okay, all the blogs. All right, so now I can show you in the console log also. Just give me a second. User blog here. So just imagine we getting the data back right here, and we set that data with the user property data.user to our state. We have state here, so user set state and user, right? That is a user in the use effect function right here. Once we finish that one, then we call just our component, right? That is card, because now you have all the data. You just need to run the same component card. Okay, so we will test first. If there is a user, right, then only run this code, only run that code, right? So you're gonna map user. Remember I told you inside the user you have a blog, right? That is the array of data blocks, because remember in our users there is a blocks property, and that block property has all the ID, right, which we are getting. Okay, I mean that because of that ID we are populating the whole data, right? So Okay, let's take one example, right? Let's take this one example, and you want to see exactly how this data looks, right? I mean, once you have the blog here, you map through and display, right? That is what we're doing here. But I want to show you something on online also. So here, so you may thinking, how we getting this user ID, correct? This ID, how we getting that ID, right? So that's the user. So we are using our local host. Where is that? Here, because when you log in, we have the ID stored in the local storage. So you get that ID stored in the variable, and that is what we pass into our route. And once you have the route and you have the ID, you get the information, right, already. Okay, so I want to get that ID and then try, right? So let's go to the browser and test that. So in our application, I want to get this ID and go to the route here and post that ID, right, and enter. Okay, now look at, right? So see, look at this data, how it is populated, right? This one route, okay, the user route, the way we have written the route to return everything to that particular user. So see, this is the user property which we have written in our API, right? And it has this object now. So look at this. First one is what? The user information, right? And then there is a blocks, right? And this is the array with all the blocks here, right? See that? So the number of blocks this user has inserted, you are getting all that here. And we just say user dot blocks, and then we map through this data, and we just passing to the card, right? So that is what we have done. So it looks, when you just looking at this, right, it looks a little bit complex until and unless you try line by line what we have done, right, from beginning until now, and you just try to understand each step what we are doing, okay, then only you will be able to basically get through this, right? You just need some time, okay? You spend some time and work through that, unless and until you do it like 1-2 time, right, at least to understand it, okay? It will be a little tough, so you know so that is basically normal, right? But you have to practice, and then once you practice couple of time, it will be okay. So that's the user data. Now one more thing I want to say, right? Now let's say this is the user data, right? This, whoever is the logged in, that's data we are displaying. In the future, now in the next maybe, let's say you want to add, edit and delete, right? Edit and delete, maybe update and delete. So how we can do that, right? So just look at here what we have done here. I just pass one props here, right? Is user. I'm just trying to like some kind of a creating some kind of trust here, right? Like if this is user is true, so I'm just passing the true, right? In that case only I will be able to basically add the update and delete button to the user, right? Here in the blog. So let's go to the user blog, and I want to, because I'm logged in now, I want to edit this, right? Edit this. So maybe I want to have here edit and delete button, correct? And in that button, right, that button will be only displayed if is user is true, if that user is true, right? So that's why I pass that variable, or we can call it props, so I can get that props let's say in my cart, and now I want add some text there, and then add the update and delete button, and then add the functionality, right? Okay guys, so I think let's keep it up to here, right? We can do this maybe on Monday, and next week I want you guys to take a whole week, maybe whatever time you need, right, and go through all the projects, complete this one also, ask me the question, do piece by piece, right? Work on piece by piece, ask me question if you have any confusion, don't wait for a long time, right? And I will try to explain again, okay? Because when you do the work and you have issue, right, maybe there will be easy to understand if I explain. Okay, so let's do that one. Now we have edit and delete part left. We just do that, edit and delete, right? That is what we're gonna do. And what else we can do, right? Let's see. I mean, you can display the username also now, right? If you want to add username, you can display there in the blog. There will be edit and delete, so we will just do edit and delete for now. Okay, and then we're gonna stop there. So okay guys, that's enough, good enough. Any question on that? So just work, right? Work on that, and then ask me if you have problem understanding, because when you have, when you are there, right, then only will be you will gonna understand. Okay, just work through that and ask me the question. So Monday we're gonna have maybe 30 minutes to finish this edit and delete, and then after you continue with the work, and please ask me, right? Because I don't want you to become like expert in this, but just understand how the backend creates, how you create a backend, how you connect with your front end, how you getting data, just the relation, right? The concept. I just want you to understand. That is all, right? For this whole here, and the mastering things we're gonna do with the Next.js, okay? Because the Next.js will be same concept, little more easy way, but the same concept is same, the same idea, right? There are so many things built in, so we will use the more better things, right? But there, there it will be not like this. Once you understand this concept, it will be easy for us to move quick. Plus we're going to do some more advanced thing, right? So you know but it's okay. I mean, that's fine, right? Let's not worry about that. Just continue with your work, and then please ask me if any question on that. Okay, I will stop here now.